writing was really in the hands of 1% of the population for thousands and thousands of years. And it was held as the supreme technology. Books were written by this 1% of humanity that would then be touted as the Word of God. And of course, the 99% that were illiterate followed these religious leaders. So that's really had a remarkable impact today, on how we actually see things. What happened was we had this technology blip starting about a couple hundred years ago, where we discovered oil, and oil is really compressed energy. A barrel of oil equals what 10 men could do working hard for a whole year in a field, compressed into one little barrel that could be spent like that, which caused this technology blip, which developed everything that we have and use in our world today and take for granted. Yet our belief systems are still very archaic in terms of the impact that writing had in putting into our heads the ideas about a God, and especially a personified God, which really is not congruous with what the technology that we use every day is telling us about the universe. So we need to catch up, because we're still accelerating on this technology blip, even though oil is falling off, and we're still using the old archaic thoughts that were brought to us for thousands of years by this 1%. They largely control how we think about the world. Religions are a good example. They have a huge impact on how we interact in the world. They cause a lot of friction. They cause a lot of wars. There have been so many wars, the Crusades, in the name of God, killing each other in the name of God, flying airplanes into buildings in the name of God. All this archaic knowledge was really developed by the 1%, which anecdotally are 50% the same as a banana. We're 96% of our DNA is exactly the same as that of the great apes. So when we unraveled the double helix, we really got the true history of mankind. Where we come from? Well, we come from all the single cell organisms developed into more complex organisms, and then when the asteroid came that hit Earth and blew out the dinosaurs, why, that's when mammals actually rose to the forefront and developed into more complex mammals and eventually into us. So here we are, 25,000 years ago we were Neanderthals. Today, we've got technology, we've got this new knowledge, but we're just chewing up the earth. That really, we're chewing up our brothers and sisters, the same genetic material that stardust that made us, destroying a lot of the environment that we need to stay healthy and well, all in the name of hoarding, which is very Neanderthal, because only really wealth is still very much concentrated at the top 1%. It really hasn't changed. We think we have all this technology and it's making life so much better, but still the portals of communication are still being controlled. It's just a new ball game. You look at the internet, but it's still very much shaped by the dynamics of how the internet works. You still have to buy software and hardware, and that determines somewhat what you can do and how you can communicate, and it's filtered and the information is gathered. So there's still a lot of these control games going on to make more money, control more wealth, control more power. See, what we perceive in this world is really just a very small part of it. We actually project what we perceive. That's how the mind works. We have 2 million bits of information hitting us every second. We only actually perceive a tiny percentage of those bits of information, and it's very selective based on our programming and conditioning. So if we're programmed by mass media, if we're programmed by television, what to like, how to behave, what to want, what to buy, and we're programmed by religion, how to behave, who to hate, who not to hate, these archaic ideas are still very much a part of the power struggles going on the planet today. So the new era of information is going to be communication between each other and trying to get new ideas going that are more sustainable for all the living things, and of course the non-living part of the planet as well. Take care of it, to love it, to love what we came from, to save the water, to keep the air as one air, one water, one planet. So all these ideas are going on in my main character Zane's brain as he's trying to put together what's going on in his own life and try to reconcile some of the angst he has with his own interface with the life that he's living in, as well as trying to deal with his love interests and traveling, and his dying father, and his brother that he's having a big fight with, and his mother's just trying to hold this all together. So, that's all part of the novel Zane's Brain, but these underlying ideas that I'm talking about, just throwing off a lot of sparks here, will give you somewhat of an idea of what Zane's Brain is about underneath it all. So thanks again for joining.